Mikhail Yurievich, I also want to acknowledge the effective and successful actions of your soldiers and commanders. And I ask you to convey my very best wishes to them.
Understood.
We understand, we are fully cognizant of the fact that the opposing force, situated directly in front of us, has been meticulously preparing its defensive positions there for a considerable number of years. We are aware of the challenging situation there. Nevertheless, you are successfully resolving the objectives facing your unit. And of course, in the very near future, you must continue the offensive alongside the Vostok Group to liberate Zaporizhia. Thank you very much.
Got it.
Andrei Arkadievich, do you have anything to add?
No, everything is going according to plan, very dynamically, I would say, even as Valery Vasilievich reported ahead of the pace that was originally planned. And indeed, in December, we achieved the highest rates for the entire year.
December ends with a stark battlefield update from Moscow. In a closed-door briefing, Russia's top general lays out rapid territorial gains and a front line in motion. Dozens of settlements, hundreds of square kilometers, and momentum claimed across the map. As the year closes, the Kremlin signals confidence and pressure heading into what comes next. Inside the Kremlin, Russia's military leadership delivered a blunt end-of-year assessment. President Vladimir Putin met with defense officials and frontline commanders as the country's top general outlined what Moscow calls a decisive month on the battlefield. According to Russia's defense ministry, December marked the fastest pace of territorial gains seen all year. Chief of the General Staff, Valery Gerasimov, told the meeting that Russian forces took control of 32 settlements in December alone. He said more than 700 square kilometers of territory changed hands, describing advances made along nearly the entire line of contact. Moscow claims this month stands out as the most successful period of the year. Gerasimov said Russian troops are advancing across multiple directions, applying sustained pressure on Ukrainian positions. He described steady movement rather than isolated breakthroughs, emphasizing continuity of operations and expanding control across key frontline sectors. According to the Russian assessment, Ukrainian forces are not launching major offensives. Instead, Gerasimov said Kyiv is focusing on reinforcing defensive lines, conducting localized counterattacks, and relying heavily on drone strikes to slow Russian advances. President Putin praised Russian soldiers and officers for what he called tireless efforts throughout the month. He thanked commanders and frontline units, saying their actions made the reported gains possible as the conflict moves toward another winter phase.
Sergei Viktorovich, the southern group of forces is operating quite confidently and effectively. How is the situation currently developing in your area of responsibility?
Comrade Supreme Commander, since the liberation of Seversk, the Third Army has not reduced, is not slowing its offensive pace, continuing its mission westward with the main thrust towards Sloviansk. They have now taken control, completed an encirclement from north to south, taken control of the settlement of Sviato-Pokrovskoye, and on the northern flank advanced to the settlement of Zakotnoye. On the southern flank, they reached the eastern outskirts of Bondarno. They continue to carry out their mission towards Seversk.
What is the situation in Konstantinovka at the moment?
In Konstantinovka, Comrade Supreme Commander, elements of the Third Army Corps are continuing to clear the northeastern outskirts of the settlement. They have secured the factory, the entire territory of the Stroysteklo plant, and are now proceeding with the liberation of the Konstantinovka metallurgical plant.
Roughly what percentage of the city is already under our control?
Up to 45%, Comrade Supreme Commander-in-Chief. If we take the northeastern outskirts, it's about 40%. 40-45.
We all understand perfectly well that the successful liberation of Seversk and effective operations in Konstantinovka will allow our forces to create the necessary conditions for the development of a further offensive. And the capture of the entire Slaviansk, Drushkovka, Kramatorsk region, this whole agglomeration, and the seizure of the enemy's entire defensive line, as well as in coordination with the Western and Central forces to completely liberate the territory of Donbass. Crucial area. You are demonstrating a good pace. I have already had the pleasure of speaking with your subordinates and once again conveying my very best wishes and gratitude for their successful work. Mikhail Yurievich, your unit, however, is directly situated upon long-established enemy's fortified stronghold. Nevertheless, you are conducting active operations in this very sector. How do you assess the overall situation?
Supreme Commander, the Dnieper group of forces breaking through the enemy's prepared defensive lines is advancing towards the city of Zaporizhia. The city of Stepnohirsk has come under the control of Russian armed forces, which served as the enemy's main defensive strongpoint in the direction of the regional center. Today, the liberation of Lukyanovskoye settlement was completed. The capture of Primorskoye is nearing completion. Combat operations are currently underway in the city of Orekov, in the settlements of Novoandreevka, Novoyakovlevka, Belogorye, as well as Pavlovka. Over the past 2 months, 5 populated areas have been liberated by the troop grouping. Currently, the formations of the grouping continue to conduct offensive operations in the Zaporizhia region. Our advanced units are located at a distance of approximately 15 kilometers from the southern outskirts of the city of Zaporizhia. Report concluded.
How much? 15 kilometers?
Yes, it's about 15 kilometers out to the outskirts.
Mikhail Yurievich, I also want to acknowledge the effective and successful actions of your soldiers and commanders. And I ask you to convey my very best wishes to them.
Understood.
We understand, we are fully cognizant of the fact that the opposing force, situated directly in front of us, has been meticulously preparing its defensive positions there for a considerable number of years. We are aware of the challenging situation there. Nevertheless, you are successfully resolving the objectives facing your unit. And of course, in the very near future, you must continue the offensive alongside the Vostok Group to liberate Zaporizhia. Thank you very much.
Got it.
Andrei Arkadievich, do you have anything to add?
No, everything is going according to plan, very dynamically, I would say, even as Valery Vasilievich reported ahead of the pace that was originally planned. And indeed, in December, we achieved the highest rates for the entire year.
Thank you for your attention, my esteemed comrades.
The tasks for the liberation of Donbass, Zaporizhia and Kherson regions are being carried out in stages in accordance with the special military operations plan. Troop groupings are confidently moving forward, breaking through enemy defenses. Ukrainian armed forces units are retreating everywhere along the entire line of combat contact. The commanders of the troop groupings have just reported on the current situation, and I ask you to continue carrying out the tasks of the special military operation in accordance with the plans and the plans of the General Staff. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude once again to all Russian military personnel who are currently carrying out combat missions on the line of combat engagement on the front line. Undoubtedly, in the successes on the front of the Russian armed forces, the decisive role belongs to our soldiers and officers who, liberating the land of Donbass, daily display courage and heroism, risking their lives. I want to address them directly and underscore this point. Esteemed comrades, you, without a doubt, serve as a shining example of dedicated service to our fatherland and indeed to our motherland. You are working, fulfilling your combat duties for the benefit of our great Russia. I thank you for your valiant service to the fatherland, and I congratulate you on the approaching new year.
As 2025 approaches, the Kremlin's message is clear. Moscow is presenting December as proof of momentum and as a marker of how it sees the battlefield heading into the new year. The claims underscore Russia's intent to press forward as the war enters its next chapter.